I'll be honest, Chapter 4 was my favorite chapter. And now, before you decide to tie me to a pole and burn me alive, I do love every chapter, and I do think Chapter 1 was peak Fortnite. But in my honest opinion, I enjoyed Chapter 4 the most. Now, yes, the wild season exists in this chapter, and it's one of the reasons this chapter is mixed in the fan base, but I do think everything else is pretty good. In this video, I will be dissecting every season of Chapter 4 and voicing my general opinions on it. I will also discuss Season OG. I know it's technically not a part of Chapter 4, but I will still discuss it. And before you say,
"Oh, you're only saying that because people are saying that on Twitter."
No, I genuinely miss this chapter, and I have missed it ever since it left. And I did enjoy it for the time it was there. Alright, now before we begin, may I ask you to like the video, comment on what your favorite chapter or season was, your favorite out of all of them, and subscribe to support me. You can also join my Discord server and follow me on Instagram for my art and general updates, as well as supporting me through my YouTube memberships. So, without further ado, let's hop on the battle pass, pop open the slap juice, and grab the buggiest mobility item in the game and drop onto Chapter 4 again. December 4th, 2022. I loaded up Fortnite to play the new chapter, and in my first game I had a blast with all the new items, guns, and the map. I really did love the suburban feel of slappy shores and faulty splits, as well as the medieval contrast of the Citadel and Anvil Square. It was a really unique map. In the past, whenever a new chapter started, it was all modern locations, but this one felt really unique for the time. I also need to talk about the loot pool. Honestly, my personal favorite loot pool ever. I mean, we had the Thunder Shotgun and the Twin Mag SMG, and don't get me started on how good the Red Eye was. And oh boy, the Shockwave Hammer, the greatest mobility we've ever had in my opinion. Especially the mythic one you got from the Ageless. I remember running squads with an old group of mine that I have since disbanded due to beef in the group, which is always unfortunate to see. But we would hop on every day to run the pockets of all the players, but most times we died of sweaty no lives. Other than that though, I really liked how the graphics looked. It was realistic but still mostly kept a cartoon-like art style with the color palette of the map. And side thing, but this chapter has my favorite grass. I know it's weird, but I'm kind of a person who just loves a nice fresh looking green grass. Not whatever the hell was given to us in Chapter 5 though. Let's next discuss the Battle Pass. Although most of the skins felt a little all over the place, the other skins were pretty cool. My personal favorite was Halsey. I really like her crazy look and outfits. Definitely a favorite of mine. We also can't talk about Chapter 4 Season 1 without mentioning the Doomslayer and Geralt of Rivera, who both fit surprisingly well with the atmosphere this season. Geralt obviously fit the medieval style, and Doomslayer fit the space theme of the map as well. If you don't know what I mean, then just look at this. I will also say, we should have gotten more styles for both skins, especially Doomslayer. He should have gotten the unicorn outfit and a classic style. Geralt is also just a reskin of his previous style, which is Opium. We also need to talk about one of my personal favorite Tier 100 skins of all time, the Ageless. Quite possibly one of the best Tier 100 skins we've had, but also the worst glider of all time. I'll also point out that he actually fit the lore of the current season at the time. We don't really get to see that much, but Chapter 5 has definitely fixed this though. I also needed to talk about one of the best things added to the Battle Royale mode in a long time. The Most Wanted LTM. If you weren't there, I feel bad for you. This part of the season was so chaotically fun. The heat level meter was a new addition that the more you filled up by eliminating players, the more boosts you would get to you, like a constant slurp effect, but you would get pinned on the map for everyone to see. This update also brought the heist exotics, which are certainly the greatest exotics ever. The explosive Red Eye was just the Red Eye but with a slower fire rate and produces explosions. The Wall Breacher shotgun before the nerf could one-tap walls. The Heisted Accelerant shotgun would give you a speed boost when you hit enemies, and the fire rate would speed up with each successful hit. The exotic Twin Mag would give you a teleport when you reload, and the P90 would give you an infinite sprint. There was also a fully free mini battle pass that I certainly maxed out, and was a little confused when they released it in the shop later on. This update was also really cool as it also added bosses around the map to fight for their guns and a vault keycard. Other collaborations through the season included the Hulk, Mr. Beast, My Hero Academia, and more Dragon Ball skins. Honestly, if you had told me Mr. Beast would be running squads with Rick Sanchez, Doomslayer, and Goku back in 2017, I wouldn't have believed you. But man, this game is a gem. Now, let's talk about my least favorite parts of the season. Now, first off, But My Hero Academia is not that bad of an anime. I actually really did like it whenever Deku wasn't crying his ass off. And the skins weren't bad, don't get me wrong, but the Mythic? Oh, the memories of sitting in the building, then seeing my screen turn green and hearing that. The Mythic would take its fist and shove it 12 feet up your ass. Where was I? Oh yeah, talking about the negatives. Let me look here. Mediocre story, Breakwater Bay, the fact I didn't win the Mr. Beast tournament. I'm not sure, honestly. I didn't really have much complaints about this season, so let's move on to the next one. Where do I even start with this season? I mean, it has some of the best mythics we've ever had in the game, one of the coolest mobility items ever, and on that topic we had some even better mobility like the ODM gear and web shooters. And also the floating loot island first appeared here too. Okay, let's first discuss the loot pool. 2 new guns were added which I actually really liked, the Havoc Suppressed Rifle and the Havoc Shotgun. Now, I know the Suppressed Havoc Rifle was disliked by a lot of people, but I personally really liked it, especially that reload sound. Ooh, French kiss of that one. The Havoc Pump Shotgun was also a really hard hitting shotgun and is way better than the Pump. Now, let's talk mobility. Honestly, it's some of the best we've ever had. The Kinetic Blade, the ODM gear, and the web shooters were GOATs in this season. The big 3 if you say. My personal favorite was the ODM gear. Although I don't watch Attack on Titan nor do I plan on in the future, this item was definitely one of my top 5 mobility items we've ever had. Anyways, next let me discuss the map. We had Mega City, which was a futuristic version of Tilted Towers, but way better in every way. I remember dropping here with my friends and we'd walk out fully kitted with mythics and katanas. There was also the other Japanese themed POIs, which were all really good in my opinion. I remember this one place I would drop all the time that had a guaranteed katana and a few chests, which was my drop spot all season. Another addition to this map was the floating island that would appear late into the match, the Loot Island, which had the mythic pulse rifle, which is by far the best mythic of all time in my personal opinion. I mean, if we're talking pre-patch chapter 2 season 2 mythics, then this gun isn't even close. The island also dropped 2 slurp juices, but they were legendary? Yeah, legendary slurp juices that are the best healing item right behind Little Whip's special serve. Having a mythic pulse rifle, mythic havoc shotgun, a katana, and slurp juices, you were practically unstoppable. Like, everyone feared you. Next, let me talk about the events such as the Star Wars event and Easter update. First off, the Star Wars event was actually surprisingly great. The lightsabers were actually good and the force abilities were absolutely goated. Next is the Easter update, and even though it didn't bring much, it brought oh my lord, oh my gosh, oh, kiss me on the forehead and carry me on your back, holy sweet, I mean, it brought some good skins back to the shop and brought in Miss Bunny Penny. Lastly, let me talk about the Battle Pass, which has one of the best tier 1 skins of all time, and it had a really cool tier 100 skin as well. There's also the other skins like the Zesty Lizard, the Furry Gooner skin, and bald-headed ass, this skin. Okay, me and my best friend Jamari have had this argument for a while. Is this skin male or female? I think it's female, he thinks it's male, and we haven't been able to come to a conclusion on it for a while now. So comment what you think the gender of this skin is so I can shove it in my friend's face when he finds out he's wrong. Oh, also, I love the Imani skin. I know people are mixed on this skin, but honestly her music pack carries. Just listen. There's also Erich's surprisingly well made for an anime skin. I like it. This season was so good. It's definitely in my top 5 best seasons of all time, and I feel really nostalgic about this season. Okay, so that was season 2, but what about season 3? Oh no, this is gonna get bumpy, y'alls. Season Wilds is a very controversial season in Fortnite history. I mean, it's certainly better than Chapter 5 Season 3, I'll say that right now. Season 3 introduced a whole new biome, the jungle, which was very heavy with its foliage and hard to traverse in, which can really turn people off. And it was even a couple yards into the ground, which made it hard to get out of. The loot pool was actually really good in my opinion also. Me and the other 3 Flapjack rifle fans enjoyed the gun, and I know for sure everyone loved the Mammoth pistol. Ooh, best weapon that season. There was also stuff like Explosive Repeater Rifle and the Kinetic Boomerang. This season also had the strangest collabs too. I mean, Optimus Prime, Futurama, Terminator. Why? I will say though, I was hyped as hell when I found out Futurama was coming to Fortnite. I am a huge Futurama fan and I love that show so much. And also, about the collabs, I get why they did them at this season, because all of them were having movies and reboots coming out at this time and Epic wasn't about to miss out on the bag. But why couldn't it have just been one season earlier? On the topic of skins, let's talk about the Battle Pass, which has some pretty mediocre skins in it, but my personal favorite skin here is Trace. I mean, look at him, the guy's so damn handsome. This season also brought Jujutsu Kaisen to the game, which brought the mythic Hollow Purple to the game, which was honestly one of the best anime collab mythics we've ever gotten. Now, I honestly don't have much to say about this season. Only other thing I could say is that it was during summer, so I was able to play more and was playing with my cousins all the time. And it was low-key really fun. I honestly missed that. Well, that's all I gotta say for this season, so let's move on. Imagine this, you just played one of the worst seasons yet, and you're starting to fall out with one of the games you love. But then you hear that the next season will introduce elements from one of the greatest seasons ever. And being a dumb tween who decided not to play that season because you were in a cringe Minecraft good Fortnite bad phase, you see this as an opportunity to get a taste of what it once felt like. This was me when the Eclipse season was announced and I was honestly pretty hyped for it. Eclipse was basically Chapter 2 Season 2 but a little dumbed down. There was only one really good interesting boss, while the others were just reskins of each other. There were also the new POIs that had vaults in them, and these POIs would be the old mythics from previous seasons that were either really good or really bad. The POIs themselves though were all kind of the same, being luxurious penthouses, mansions, and hotels, which all used the same building gallery. My personal thoughts on them? They were pretty decent, not anything to go crazy over, but still good nonetheless. I'll also discuss the new loot pool this time around. There was a new twin mag AR that was actually surprisingly good, a new shotgun that felt kinda bogus to use, and a new SMG that could have been called an AR and nothing would have changed about it. There was also the new main mobility item of this season, the Rocket Ram. Next we'll discuss the Battle Pass and collabs throughout the season. So the Battle Pass includes characters such as Fish Stick, a buff version of Fish Stick, a Piper Pace, Antonia, my personal favorite, Nolan Chance, and Kabi Lame. Wait, Kabi Lame? The one guy from TikTok whose only joke was him doing some hand motion? Why the hell is he here? It's whatever. At least the other collab has something to do with the heist. Ahsoka Tano? Why? Why couldn't it be Payday 3 or Grand Theft Auto? Epic! Why? Alright, moving on. The collabs for this season did not include Payday or GTA, unfortunately, which is such a missed opportunity with this season. I mean, come on, they would have been perfect. The other collabs that came out around this time included Jack Skellington, Michael Myers, and Alan Wake? What? I would have never expected these three to be on the same list. I mean, we have Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas, a kids franchise, and a Michael Myers from an adult slasher series. Holy crap, Fortnite is really that powerful. And Alan Wake is chill, I guess. On that topic, let me talk about the most mediocre Halloween event of all time. All it added was an Eclipse, a new boss, and new mythic. Oh wait, it also brought back the Witch Broom, which was decent for the time. I wasn't a big fan of this event. I thought it was kind of dookie, especially compared to the less inferior but still pretty bad previous Halloween event. Lastly, let me talk about Kato Thorn in general. He seems like a Midas copy from the outside, but he has this kind of charm to him that I did like. Kato Thorn was also able to travel through time with this machine that he used to collect different items across Fortnite history, such as Midas's severed hand. This machine is also what caused the entire island to reset back to the OG Fortnite from 2017 and 2018, which is what I'll be discussing next. Okay, I know Season OG isn't really considered Chapter 4, but it was caused by the events of Chapter 4. I don't need to really dive deep into the loot pool, map, and things like that because, come on, we all know Chapter 1. This season was genuinely fun in my opinion, and I'm not saying that with a pair of nostalgia tinted glasses. I'm saying that from the perspective of someone who would have much rather preferred we left the past in the past. But honestly, I'm glad we got this season. It was a nice mix up from everything and brought in some pretty cool skins in my opinion, and the Gooner skin. Other than that, this season is also what introduced the world to Fortnite Festival, Rocket Racing, and LEGO Fortnite, which all died pretty quickly afterwards in Chapter 5. Honestly, they were all kind of underwhelming, especially since there wasn't much to them anyways, and we had a whole new chapter to look forward to as well. My thoughts on the season in general? Honestly pretty good, but it had paved the way for Fortnite to become a bigger metaverse thing, which I'm not too happy about, honestly. At least I get a cool ass car and get to sing Barbie Girl as Rick Grimes, though. So what are my final thoughts on chapter 4 as a whole? I loved this chapter. Yes, it had its ups and downs, but it had this charm to it that the Fortnite was still trying to be itself, and had the best graphics out of any chapter, and some of my most favorite POIs, guns, and skins from that era. I honestly miss running games with my friends on this map, and I honestly wish I started doing YouTube again back then. I had all this stuff to do, but I didn't do it, so I started in chapter 5, but honestly, I didn't mind that. I've grown faster than I thought in these last 2 months, and I'm already at 3,000 subscribers at the time of recording this video. And I want to genuinely thank you all. Truly, you're healing my inner child. And I mean, besides, in 2 years, we'll have chapter 4 rework or rewind or whatever they call it. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to keep me in the algorithm, and join my Discord server and follow me on Instagram. And also join my YouTube memberships to also financially support me. And lastly, I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are. Bye!